Coach, what is the mood of the team? You've got a young team, a team that's played really well since the Olympic break. How would you characterize the mood going into this important game? Thanks.
I would say young and light. Just not having this experience before. So just trying to, enjoy the most of it. I think that's what I just keep trying to tell these guys, and including I should try to take the advice myself, is just enjoy.
In one of the most thrilling, jaw-dropping games in WNBA history, the playoff between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever witnessed an eruption of chaos between the league's fiercest competitors. Dijonai Carrington and Caitlin Clark, what should have been an electrifying and intense game, quickly turned into controversy after a brutal and unexpected eye poke left Clark wriggling in pain.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. We've seen the animus directed at Caitlin Clark all year. It reached a boiling point yesterday. Caitlin Clark played a terrible game, shot 4 of 17 from the field. The Indiana Fever got curb stomped by the Connecticut Sun. I get it. She had a bad game. Connecticut Sun looked good. They looked experienced. They brought a level of intensity and physicality that the Fever weren't ready for. But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this Dijonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
Fans held their breath, the bench stood frozen, and the world watched in shock, waiting for the referee to blow the whistle, but surprisingly, no foul was called. This just wasn't an ordinary mistake, it was a heartless attack on one of WNBA's brightest star, Caitlin Clark, the new face of women's basketball. Clark was left defenseless in front of millions of viewers, and the league's reaction, or lack of it, has set social media on fire. Disbelief and mistrust erupted from every corner of the sports world. How could something this deliberate be overlooked? Was this a cold act of rivalry boiling over, or was it a heart-rending disappointment by the referee that now threatens the decency of the league itself? The future of women's basketball is threatened. The WNBA is now at a critical crossroad, and how they handle the situation will define the very standard of sportsmanship and player safety from now on. Will they hold Dijonai Carrington accountable for her unsportsmanlike behavior, or let this slide and expose Caitlin to further danger?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her, so I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
What really happened on the court? Why did the referee turn a blind eye to the incident and refuse to blow the whistle? And where will the WNBA go from here? If you want the latest update on what happened, the raw facts, and the truth behind the controversial moment, keep watching. But before we go further, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. You won't want to miss the next explosive updates in the unfolding drama.
In the standpoint of, this is a win or go home situation. Obviously, this is very different than college, and it's a learning process for me too. Obviously, this is my first playoffs, and a lot of us on this team's first playoff. So, we're all kind of going through it at the same point and learning, and you don't always know what to expect because a lot of us have never been here. But that's the most experience that I have is from college. Obviously, coming in here as a rookie and this being my first playoff. So, at the same time, I'm just trying to learn it and go with it. But I feel like I've been in a lot of high pressure, intense games, and that's what the playoffs is. So it's not anything you shy away from. Some are going to be good, some are not going to be as good. And, lucky for us, the first game wasn't as great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
The incident occurred during a high-stake playoffs between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever, with Caitlin Clark showing the stuff she's made of as usual. But what happened next left the crowd gasping for breath. As Clark was trying getting on the ball, Carrington reached in to contest the play, only for her hand to sharply redirect towards Clark's face, causing what many believe to be a deliberate eye poke.
To Juana Bonner, the defensive assignment on Caitlin Clark. These teams played 4 times in the regular season. As you see Mitchell hit it there 4 times in the regular season.
Start for Mitchell, hitting the jumper. Here's Bonner in the corner. She got it on a 3, and she can get hot. Carrington finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. Caitlin Clark is down. No call as Connecticut takes it.
Slow motion replay shows that Dijonai wasn't trying to defend the ball like a typical defensive player would. It was a purely intentional move. Fans and analysts instantly took to social media, purposefully targeting Carrington. The downward angle of her hand, the timing, and the lack of a foul call were indications that something was wrong. Was it really an accident? Or did Carrington's frustration with how Clark has dominated the game boil over into an unsportsmanlike move?
There are increasing calls to have Connecticut Sun player Dijonai Carrington suspended and fined for poking Caitlin Clark in the eye. This incident took place during Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun first WNBA playoff game. Despite clear video evidence, this went uncalled by the referees. Clark was visibly shaken, ultimately suffering a black eye, and fans were quick to take to social media.
Caitlin Clark's reaction was immediate. She clutched her eyes in visible pain. But despite the injury, the referee didn't blow the whistle. To the total chagrin of fans and commentators, plays continue like nothing happened. This wasn't just a foul. It was an incident that could have ended the rookie's bright career.
Yeah, I think just approaching it with the mentality of, be confident, like we're meant to be here, but at the same time, like have fun, and you have to approach this very businesslike and prepare the best you can. And I think our coaches have us as prepared.
After the eye poke incident, Clark lost the rhythm of her play. Her performance plummeted. Clark, known to drop 20 points per game with ease, has her numbers dip drastically. The rest of the game saw Clark's shooting percentage fall to an uncharacteristic 23.5%, and her average points per game dropped to just 11. For a player referred to as the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, this was a troubling indication of the impact of the eye injury.
WNBA playoffs is Caitlin Clark's postseason debut, the Fever's first appearance since 2016. Guess what? The Sun do not care. Early in the first quarter, I think we expected a little bit of this from Dijonai Carrington, especially when Clark was involved. Carrington not making it easy. Clark did get poked in the eye. Watch that. Hit in the eye, goes down. That's a black eye, friends. Little under 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Clark fighting. We're going to show you those points because those are her first in a playoff game in her WNBA career. Game was tied at 16. Now it's 43-38. Joanna Bonner, no from three. It was 46-38 going into the break. Bonner now. Sun up 7 and starting to pull away. Fever got to call a timeout after that one, and Clark is not happy, taking it out on the bench. Bonner, by the way, 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Right after the timeout, Clark comes out.
The WNBA pride itself on the integrity of fair play. However, the vicious attack on Clark has fueled the broader conversation about player safety. Caitlin Clark, one of the league's major stars, has over the time increasingly become the target for aggressive defense. Many believe that opponents have a special vendetta for her, making sure that she's forced to play down her performance, even if it means crossing the line. Fans are furious and are asking questions. Why didn't the referee make a foul call? Why did the referee not step in to protect the league's brightest talent? As one of the faces of the WNBA, Clark's safety should not be compromised and should be made a priority for the league. However, what happened on this day suggests otherwise. Is the WNBA failing its responsibility to protect its stars from vicious players? Or is the physicality of the game an accepted norm in today's basketball? If there is one thing this incident has brought to the fore, it's the inconsistency that has bedeviled the officiating in the WNBA. Many fans and analysts have expressed fears over what the league deemed a foul in high-stake games. In Clark's case, her attack wasn't just missed, it was snubbed, sparing outrage across the basketball community. In a post-game interview, Christy Sides, the head coach of Indiana Fever, even hinted at the lack of officiating calls, particularly mentioning how one of Clark's teammates, Aaliyah Boston, who despite constantly fouling in the paint, was not receiving the necessary calls.
Early in the game, and Caitlin mentioned in her first answer about the refs, so is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, I just feel like there's some body contact. Sometimes these guys are coming off screens and movements where they're just getting bodied a lot. I thought that was happening early. I thought AB was getting, not getting some calls down low that she probably should have. But at the end of the day, it's not about the officiating tonight for sure. I mean, we're we've got to be better defensively.
The referee's role in any game is to maintain order and ensure fair play. However, this incident involving Dijonai Carrington and Caitlin Clark has exposed the many flaws in the system. Why wasn't the Connecticut player immediately penalized for what she did? Was it simply a missed call, or is there an underlying issue with how fouls and players' safety are being handled in the WNBA? The league needs to address these growing concerns before it loses its credibility and before its officiating system suffers a bigger hit. The moment the incident occurred, social media went buzzing with reactions. Fans, players, and commentators were quick to call out the WNBA for its inability to step in.
Again? You're trying to destroy the prize cash cow again? What the hell's going on here? Why is this concept so difficult to grasp for the pretend basketball players in the WNBA? Since they're having such a hard time understanding, Uncle KC is going to explain this again. For starters, this so-called success that the WNBA has experienced this season, this success is nothing but an illusion. It is no different than the presidential campaign of cackling Cam Harris. There ain't nothing real about it. There is one reason and one reason only that millions of people are finally paying attention to the WNBA dump for the first time in 30 years. And because WNBA players can't get past their pride, because WNBA players can't get past their jealousy and envy, they have spent the entire season trying to butcher the cash cow.
Hashtags like Justice for Clark and Protect Our Stars were floating in the media as fans demanded accountability from the league. Even NBA stars quickly joined in on the conversation, with many outrightly expressing their disgust at how the incident was handled. The conversation has since shifted from a singular foul to a broader discussion about the officiating in the women's sport compared to their male counterparts. While fans are still debating on what could have prompted Carrington's intention, another growing issue has surfaced: long nails in professional basketball. In this case, Carrington's nails were long enough to cause significant damage to Clark's eye. Many are now asking why the WNBA allows players to keep long nails in such a high-contact sport. This is a safety risk that goes far beyond one incident. Just like the league did away with athletes wearing jewelry for safety reasons, many fans are of the opinion that the WNBA should impose stricter rules on grooming standards. Long nails should not just be a fashion statement, they can be used as weapons on the court, as this incident has shown. This is the time the WNBA takes a proactive step on players' safety, starting with nail groomings. Caitlin Clark's sudden rise in the WNBA has been nothing short of remarkable. She's not just an ordinary player, she's a brand. With a $28 million endorsement deal and countless fans, Clark has turned to the golden girl of the WNBA, but could her meteoric success be the reason she's the target on the court?
Caitlin Clark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four before losing to South Carolina in the national championship game? I mean, you remember her? Caitlin Clark continues to set the bar when it comes to her impact on female athletics. She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all. According to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin, Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes. It was rumored that she actually outsold Dallas Cowboy jerseys, although that hasn't been entirely confirmed, of course, because that would be a feat. But in addition to the jersey sales, Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player.
Many believe that nothing could have fueled the attack except for jealousy and frustration from her haters. Clark's success has raised the standard in women's basketball, but it has also put a target on her back. Whether it's intentional or not, players are getting more frustrated and more physical with her, and as a result, the referees need to up their game to protect her. Clark's leadership on the court is unquestionable, and that makes incidents like this more concerning. The WNBA is known for its fierce rivalries, but this incident has exposed an emotional feeling that runs deeper than simple competition. Carrington's vicious swipe wasn't just an isolated incident. Some believe it's a growing tension among players, especially a target toward those who have established themselves significantly, like Caitlin Clark. Could Clark's rise in popularity and endorsement deals have fueled the hate among other players? It's a possibility that can't be ignored. When you put together the pressure in playing in the playoffs and the natural jealousy that stems from watching another player dominate the headlines, tempers can flare. The rivalry between Carrington and Clark may just be the beginning of something bigger coming to the WNBA that is filled with high-running emotions.
2 shots.
45 blocks last year. Clark for 3.
Defend and stop other teams from scoring.
Well, last year Indiana was 10th in pace. Christy Sides telling us Clark rattles her second 3. 6. Here it is again, Cheryl.
I mean, she's just so crafty.
That's what Krista Gerlich told me about you at Texas Tech. They wanted the offensive foul, not going to get it. Assists per game, best assist to turnover ratio in her career last season. Clark gets away with a little push, fall away, buries it.
That was a pretty good team.
That was what made that team so good, you two? Outside Clark again.
Clark off the screen, finds some space, and there's a 3. Been ice cold since that first quarter. Clark way outside. You bets. Here's Clark.
Now, everybody's spotlight is on the WNBA to see how they will respond to this incident. Fans are calling for Carrington's suspension while others demand a formal investigation into the officiating of the game. The league's decision could be a model for how incidents like this are handled when it occurs next time. Will Carrington be made to face disciplinary action, or will the league sweep it under the rug? The WNBA next action is crucial not just because it involves Caitlin Clark, but for the integrity of the sport as a whole. This is the moment everybody has been waiting for, a time where the league needs to show more commitment to player safety, fairness, and upholding the future of women's basketball. The eye poke incident involving Connecticut Sun player Dijonai Carrington and Fever sensation Caitlin Clark has shaken the WNBA to its core. This is more than a controversial foul. It's a flashpoint in the broader conversation about players' safety, how referees officiate, and the future of the league. As the WNBA continues to grow in popularity, the stakes have never been this high. And moments like this serve as a reminder that the league must put first the safety and well-being of its players in the forefront. The world is watching to see how the WNBA is going to handle this incident, and whatever decision they arrive at will have lasting implications. However, one thing is certain: this incident will not be easily erased from the memory of fans and analysts. Will the WNBA rise to the challenge, or will they let this incident fade into the background? Only time will tell.
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires, and it goes! She hits!